in the South. Expanding the recall nationwide would affect 30 million vehicles.
So there are new concerns about a possible lone wolf attack here in New York City last evening. A man attacked 4 New York City police officers with a hatchet in broad daylight. Look at this. It's unbelievable every time I look at this video. 32 years old. His name, according to some sources, is Zale Thompson, but we're still confirming all of that. So he swings the axe at 2 of these policemen without saying a word. 2 of them were hurt. One was hit in the back of the head. One was hit in the arm. The suspect was shot dead, and another woman was hit slightly in the crossfire as well. So now the NYPD says that they are not ruling out a possible terror connection for him. New York Republican Congressman Peter King is on the Homeland Security Committee, and he joins me now. Congressman, good to have you here this morning. Welcome.
Thank you, Mother.
Boy, it's been a busy day in New York yesterday, and a lot going on. So I want to start with this because this Facebook input from him is getting a lot of attention. This is attributed to this man's Facebook page, and here's what he said on it. America's military is strong abroad, but they have never faced an internal mass revolt. They are weaker at home. We are scattered and decentralized. We can use this as an advantage. They are centralized and strong, which can be exploited as a weakness. How does that add up for you?
No, he clearly was influenced to me by Islamist rantings. There's also a picture of looks like an Islamist fighter on his Facebook with the ski mask and the automatic weapon. So he is, to me, there's no doubt in my mind that Islamist teachings and rantings had an influence on him. He probably was not part of a conspiracy per se, but this is part of what we have to confront. People who may be on the edge mentally, who do become Muslim converts or radicalized and are influenced by what ISIS says, by what they hear in the media, and it shows the really the life and death situation that police officers are in every day. This police officer, by the way, Officer Healy, whose head was smashed, and he's in critical condition. He's only on the job about 5 months, and his father is a well-respected detective out here in Nassau County.
Absolutely awful. And you look at the Canadian soldier that was killed this week, and we hope that Officer Healy is, and there he is. We hope Officer Healy is on the mend. It's an awful situation for him to be in. But I can't help but think, we've been hearing these warnings. We've heard these warnings from the highest levels in our own intelligence agencies that what they want to do is attack law enforcement. There have been, people who have gotten scary things coming through on their social media, members of law enforcement that have been told to be careful, to watch out for their families. So when I see this in Canada, which is an ally in this effort, and you see this happen here, it certainly does fall exactly into the pattern that they have told us will be happening here.
Martha, I agree with you completely. And I think this, whether or not this is an official operative for ISIS, the fact is this is part of the ISIS network we have to be looking out for. People who are influenced by ISIS, people who listen to what ISIS says. And that's why ISIS puts these rantings out there. That's why they encourage the killing and the murder of police and soldiers and their families. So whether or not he is actually a card-carrying ISIS member is almost irrelevant, because he's the type of person who can be influenced by and can carry out what ISIS once done, in addition to those who will be trained fighters. This is an added weapon they have.
I think we have to accept that there's a spectrum of terrorism, and on one end you have highly coordinated attacks that come from, the central office, so to speak, and then on the other hand you appear to have these sorts of things which clearly, according to his Facebook, he had jihadist tendencies. Now, let me ask you this because of your Homeland Security background. There are so many people in this country who are very concerned about their privacy, that things they do on Facebook might be invaded, that things their cell phone calls, right? And we have busted some of those myths over the course of our reporting. But I think a lot of people look at this and say, gee, if this guy were doing things in the kind of countries that we don't like to associate ourselves with and how they do things, like North Korea or in Russia, they would be knocking on his door. So is our NSA able to do enough when it comes to tracking down these kind of people and stopping them?
Well, as far as coming from overseas, the NSA has been hurt because the terrorists are adapting to what they learned from Snowden. So that makes it more difficult as far as any attack coordinated from overseas. As far as here in the country, with someone like this is what the NYPD has to do. Local police, they're the ones. Same with the Boston Marathon, the Boston police. Unfortunately, their hands are being tied. I mean, the New York Times, be ashamed of itself. They wrote article after article, story after story, denouncing the NYPD, even though saying that the NYPD was an occupying army, that they were snooping on Muslims, they were profiling Muslims. The fact is, the only way you find out about people like this is from having sources in the community. And listen, when they were going after the mafia, they went to the Italian-American community.
Yeah.
They were going after the Westies, they went into the Irish community. The fact is, the threat is coming from the Muslim community. They have to be in there. They have to be surveilling them. And that's the only way you're going to be able to preempt these attacks.
Yeah, we've got to be realistic about what's going on here. Peter King, thank you very much.